Hi everyone, welcome to The Real Evolution. You're here with Jen on Friday. So, this week the topic is the things we've learned about ourselves since we started on this journey of self acceptance. For me, a lot of the issues that I had with my weight and I guess with myself were instilled in me as a child, and how, for at a very young age, I was taught that no one would find me attractive if I was fat. No one would love me if I was fat. And I think one of the main things I've learned on this journey is that you will always find someone who loves your body and loves you. I know that to some people that might seem like quite a shallow thing to worry about, but I think that that is one of the main reasons why women and men, but especially women, are so hard on themselves. It's all about finding that mate, finding someone who thinks they're beautiful and wants to be with them. So I've realized that it has really nothing to do with body types. Sure, people have a certain ideal, or they go for just a certain look, and that is their prerogative. If that's what they want to go for, that's fine. But I think that it's all about self-confidence and how you I guess hold yourself. And I think that it doesn't matter what size you are. Even a thin person who has no self-confidence is less attractive than a fat person who has confidence. And so I think that we have to just love ourselves before we can ever, I guess, find someone who can love us. The second thing is, like Kiki, she mentioned that she's come to appreciate exactly what her body can do. And, since I guess going through this whole self-acceptance phase, which has been for me probably 7 years, something like that, I have come to realize that I can do almost anything that a thin person can do, that a fit person can do. Things just might take a little longer and might be that little bit harder, but they are achievable. And I think that's an amazing thing to realize. A couple of years ago, a couple of girlfriends and I took a bit of a holiday down south to a little town called Margaret River here in Western Australia. And Margaret River has some amazing caves that you can actually go and see. And they're all kind of obviously, below the main kind of ground level, I guess. And, going down is pretty straightforward. I think it's something like 300, maybe 300 steps or something like that. But coming up was difficult, and it took me probably about half an hour just to get all the way up there. But I was so proud of myself for actually doing it, because any time before that, I would have just refused to have gone. It would have been just too difficult for me. I would have just psyched myself out before I even attempted it. Whereas this time, I told myself, you know what? It's going to be difficult. You're just going to have to take your time. Take some breaks every couple of 10 steps or whatever, and you'll get through it. And I did, and it fucking hurt the next day, but I was so proud of myself for getting through it. It really just made me realize that life and goals are achievable if you have the right mindset, and if you understand that things just might be a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't mean they're impossible. I think that's probably my main message, actually, is that things might be just that little bit more difficult for you with that extra weight and extra girth, whatever, but it isn't impossible. The third one, and I think this is another really important one, is that you don't have to justify your choice, your weight, your eating habits, whatever that is to do with your weight or your lifestyle, to anyone. I used to be of the mindset that, oh, I might be fat, but at least I'm eating really well. or, oh, I might be fat, but, at least I'm exercising. And I used to get a lot of people saying stuff like that to me too. No, Jen, but you're different to that person because at least you eat really well. And at the end of the day, no one has the right to judge you for your lifestyle choices, for what you decide to eat. If I want cake, I'm going to eat cake, and I shouldn't have to feel bad about choosing to do that. No one deserves to be treated like less of a human being just because of the choices that they make, especially if it has nothing to do with everyone else. And it never does. It never has anything to do with the rest of the world. Just because I eat more than someone and exercise less than someone does not mean that I don't deserve respect. I think that's a really important lesson, is that we have no right to judge each other. And we have no right to kind of compare our lifestyles to someone else in an attempt to make ourselves feel better. So yeah, those are my three main lessons, I guess, that I've learnt during this time of self-acceptance and fat activism. Tell us some of yours. Tell us some of the things that you've learnt during this time. Yeah. That's all from me. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I shall see you next week.